Hi, welcome to the small shed. This Saturday I want to make a mount for my GoPro camera. See you in a minute. Now I use this little GoPro camera quite a lot, and it's got a little mount on it that I can put it in the car on a piece of wood, and I quite often use it in here or in the garage. But one of the problems I've got is that you can't always just prop it on something. It's not very stable on that little shoe. I've got a mount that I got that you can clamp onto things that screws into a fitting on the bottom, but very often you want it to sort of reach over something and get into a corner or work over a saw or something like that. And I've just been clearing out in the workroom and I've got something that might well be just the thing. Now amongst all the tidying up is this lamp that is not very good, and it's a little bit old-fashioned, takes up a lot of room, and I think it's got to go. But before I throw anything like this away, I always try and think, can I use it for anything else? And certainly as far as this little GoPro is concerned, it would be good to have something which I could probably mount on the top, that I've got an adjustable arm that'll go out and fit in wherever I like. Maybe not keep the base, maybe adapt some sort of a clamp or something for the bottom, because it won't need quite the weight in it that base has got. But I think that's something for a project we can take away and start and dismantle it, get it back to its, basically take the head off it and start and fit GoPro mounts on it. A little bit of work needed doing, I think, because I think that's been put back together wrong anyway. It looks like it's out of shape there. So perhaps we can strip all the wiring out, get it all working as an extending arm that'll get me into all sorts of places that I can't get into with the existing mounts I've got. Right, now I've stripped the electrics out of the bottom of the lamp, cut all the wires off and taken the ballast and stuff out of it. I've got to take all the wiring out all the way up it, but we'll worry about that when we get to it. And I need to take the head off now and correct what I perceive to be a wrongly assembled top anyway. And then all I've got to do is find some means of attaching that shoe to the top, and I've got a box of bits, of camera bits that I keep with me. You know, it's got the different mounts in it for all the different, like the underwater one. It's got that, which is a similar sort of thing, but it hasn't got the reach that this one has got, or this would have. But it's a similar sort of arrangement to that. I just want to put a shoe on the bottom of it that will take the GoPro, and I've got some spare self-adhesive shoes here that I think will do. That one is off cheap Chinese clone, I think, and therefore, oh no, it's right, it'll fit. I was going to say I didn't think it would fit, but that shoe would fit on the top of the lamp, or the arm from the lamp, and then I can just swap the camera over at will. So that's probably the starting point. I'll just check through and make sure there's nothing else I've got that would be useful instead. But I've got several of these mounts that may well do. But we will make a start by stripping down the top of this, get the head off it, and then go on from there. Okay, I've got it stripped down pretty much as far as it needs to go now. I've harvested a few parts that might come in useful, like the original magnifying lens out of it. Nice chunk of glass lens that I'll keep. Chock block is always useful. 1 or 2 bits like that. Just been filing down this top mount that's been distorted to get the thing back together properly. It was always slightly off, and although it's still a little bit distorted, I think it's now going back together the way it was intended. A bit of a squeeze so I can get the brackets onto that, get that mounted back again, and hopefully it will tighten up better than it did before. And then once that's on, I can mount the head, and really all it needs is some sort of adapter plate to take me from there to there, which shouldn't be that difficult. It's slightly curved at the moment, but I'm sure we can work on it. Right, that's got it all put back together, and effectively now all I need to do is get that mount onto there, and I'll probably just screw it on actually. Right, that's got the head on. That now will swivel that way, up and down. So we've got plenty of movement on that now, so it can go out on a bench over something from a distance. And it's just screwed on with the 4 screws straight into one of the little mounts, so I can just clip it on and off, matter of seconds. And that's the sort of thing I can use it for, getting in close on machinery and that sort of thing, without it getting too much in the way of where I'm working. And similarly, if I get the right mount, it can come down from a ceiling or something like that, or up on the wall, and still get that sort of mounting, because I can just turn it upside down in there and go in either way around. So if I got something that would clamp up on the ceiling somewhere, again I've got a camera that can come in really close without getting in the way. Now I've been pondering for a day or two on this base, and I've decided that it would be useful to have something that I can fix in lots of different places in the shed using that, basically that tube, and I will sort of come to that later on. I've got a little fixing bracket there that is good for just popping something in it, and then you can tighten it up, and then that cam will lock it in place. So something like that on the wall, or something I can mount on the wall, may well be the answer. But in the short term, I've just thought that a lot of the work I do is on this bench, and it would be nice to be able to just have something I can clamp to the bench and put this on. I've salvaged the original base. I didn't want that great big heavy base because it's just a nuisance, but I've got the original fittings that went in it. That slots onto the bottom, and if I want to I can tighten that up in that ferrule, and it will, in that groove I mean, and it will lock it in place, stop it falling out. I've got a block of wood that I just use on the drill press. It's a bit of an old door. I'm going to cut that down, square it up a bit, and I think what I'll do is drill a hole through it that's, well, I need to counterbore it first for that washer which it screws into. I've got a big force and a bit that I can do that with. It'll give me the clearance. That'll drill about halfway through, and then I'll finish off with a smaller, that diameter bore through, and then that will mount onto the block of wood at one end, and I can just clamp that anywhere with a normal clamp, and that will get me by for the short term anyway. So that's what I'm going to do next. Cut this down, square it up, and then we can see where we go from there. me the mount done, I think temporarily anyway. I will sort of come up with other mounts that will go in different places in the shed elsewhere, I think, but essentially now this will stand up on its own when it's close to, but for any sort of distance reach on the thing, I can now just clamp it down and it'll go pretty much wherever I want it to, and be able to get close into things. And I can move it around on this bench, which is effectively where most of the work gets done, and it will also reach over towards the drill press, the sanding machine, router table, or the miter saw, and I can just tighten that up once it's in position wherever I want it to, and get my close-ups sorted. And there's a little adjustment on there that'll just tighten things up as well, stop it floating away. So I'm quite happy with that. It's reused both the standard lamp that was all ready to angle poise lamp that was due to go up to the tip. It's reused a bit of old door that I've got that I was using as a block on the drill press, just to keep things up in the air a bit, and it's given me the camera mount that I wanted and have been thinking about for a long time, once again at zero cost, so I'm happy with that. Hope the video was of interest. Look forward to seeing you next week. We'll be doing something different, I hope. I'll see you then. Bye.